Welcome to Pixel Composer 1.19.9. Sorry if I'm sound a little bit weird, I'm feeling under the weather at the moment, but anyway. So this version only focuses on one feature, which is a new particle system. So this system is a replacement of the old VFX system, which can be accessed by just right clicking and search for particle. You will see that we have this old particle. This particle is exactly the same, nothing changed there. But now you're gonna see this new particle system. It uses the same icon as the VFX2, and clicking on it, you will see that it will create the same setup as the old VFX. However, a lot of the stuff here are way more simplified, right? So I just rewrite the entire system to run faster and a little bit more modular. You right click, you will see the P system here. This is just the abbreviation, and I make sure to include all of the original VFX node here, stuff like the attractors, the oscillation and stuff like that. You can do all of that. And now there's also a new node, stuff like, specific gravities or acceleration or collision. So if you compare it to the normal particle system, the stuff here that used to be a toggle is now become its own node, become its own things. This optimization is to prepare for the particle system 3D, which is the same concept. Again, you'll be able to define everything in the spawner here. You will have all of this modifier node that you can use to manipulate your scene, and it will output out as a 3D mesh that you can then render it out with different 3D cameras. Also, just like in the old VFX system, there is this different trigger that you can use, right? On spawn, on step, on destroy. You can use with the spawn type. You set the spawn type to trigger, then you can receive the trigger from different inputs, right? So you can create a more complex 2D particle effect or 3D particle effect. We have some examples like here. We have a simple firework. Oops. This you just take the on destroy trigger and then connect it to the spawn trigger of the particle. You can also connect it to the trail part here so that it output as a part object. I use the part extrude here to extrude the part out into a 3D mesh, and then combine with the original object to create these firework effects. And for some node like the collision, you can also do 2D collision as well. However, this is like a very basic 3D collision. But in the collision node, you will see that there's also collision trigger output as well. So you can even spawn particle when it's collide with the collision object. Another new feature is the masking. So you can create mask using different shapes, and then you can use the mask data in other node. For this example, I use it in blend node to blend the object just based on the mask data. Alright, and then you can use mask on everything, like stuff like gravity or of the transformation here to create an even more complex effects. We also have a support for more file extension. We now support Krita .kra file and OpenRaster ORA file. It's very similar, these two formats. And there's also a proxy file support for the BMP and TGA file. So a proxy means that when you try to import BMP file to Pixel Composer, it will in the background convert it to PNG, and it's just gonna use a PNG file because internally the software only support PNG file. And there are improvements to other nodes like the shape node, the outline node, the canvas, especially with the selection. And as usual, I have a series of bug fixes in this version. You might already notice is I have updated the sample projects to use the more recent project that look a little bit more interesting than the previous sample projects. These are the projects that you can already get if you are the Patreon supporter. I just take like 10 of the more interesting projects there and then put it here to give you more example of what you can do with different systems, different nodes in the software. That will be it for today's video. So thank you for watching. Special thanks for all the Patreon supporter, and see you in the next one.